Hey there, it's Michael Kwan, and in this video, I'm going to share with you the easiest way to get into NFTs. Look, when you're first starting out, there's a lot of information. It can be really confusing, complex, and you'll hear a lot of terminologies that just don't make any sense whatsoever. And so I want to help you to get started, to take action, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do in terms of research. If you don't pull the trigger, if you don't actually buy something, then you're never going to get a result. So before we go any further, I just want to put out there that this is not financial advice. You got to make your own decisions. You got to make your own choices. So this is just for entertainment and education purposes only. With that said, NFTs are on fire. And if you're watching this video, this is primarily geared towards those of you that are kind of on the edge. Maybe you haven't had all the information yet that you want to understand about it, but you know that there's something there, right? You know that people are making money with NFTs. And I will tell you, people are making money. I have a very close friend of mine, 7 figures profit. And for myself, I'm up 6 figures easily. And so how is it that we were able to get into this space and be able to traverse some of these crazy market swings? Well, I got to tell you, definitely some of the fast money attracted me. And I realized that there was an asymmetric risk to reward, meaning that the amount of money that I had to put up relative to the amount of money that I could make was relatively small. Now, you have to have the right mindset. And I think that's something that sometimes we miss in the beginning, especially when we get excited about something, we want to go in, we want to make a lot of money. But we want to have the right mindset in the sense that you only want to put up money that you can afford to lose. Now, if you do that, you also want to make sure that you're efficient with that money. And so how do you make sure that what you're doing with that money is going to have a potential, decent return into the future? Well, I'm going to share with you some of the strategies that I've been using, some of the strategies that some of my friends have been using, and ultimately what I teach other people in my private Discord community. So first and foremost, let's talk about the different ways that you can buy NFTs. There's a couple different ways, and for most people, you're going to start hearing things like getting ETH from a crypto exchange, then you have to put it into a MetaMask wallet. Then from there, you're going to have to go onto Twitter, figure out who the influencers are. Then you're going to have to figure out all the different projects and how to get on their Discord. And once you're in the Discord, you got to figure out how to get on their whitelist so that you can actually mint it before everyone else. Because if you mint it before everyone else, then you have an advantage, and then you can take that, put it in an OpenSea, and sell it for a big profit, right? That's the general kind of gist of NFTs. And that's great because you don't need to know anything about this stuff right now. Eventually, yes, I think you should learn this as you go on your crypto journey and learn about NFTs. I think it is very lucrative to actually play in that space as well. However, you can get started today. And the easiest way to get started today is actually to not even dabble into the ETH kind of open decentralized exchange on OpenSea. Instead, I would say go to where it's easiest. And where it's easiest, even though it's pretty simple, doesn't mean that it's not lucrative. In fact, there's a lot of opportunities here right now. And in fact, this is the place where actually I made the majority of my returns. So the app that you want to download is called VIVE. And you may have heard of it before. VIVE is a application that you can get for your iPhone. You can get it for your Android phone, and essentially it ties into your apps, to the App Store, which one you're using, and usually you have a credit card associated with that App Store. So in order to get started, you download the app, you create a user profile, and you can look around. You can see the different digital collectibles that they have, the digital comics, and essentially these are the NFTs, right? But it's just all contained within this one app called VIVE. Now, eventually, it's going to be moving. It's going to be more decentralized. But for now, it's kind of self-contained. And that's actually a great opportunity. Now, the main thing that's different about VIVE is they've been able to secure some incredible licensing deals with big brands. Brands like Marvel, DC Comics, Star Wars, Disney. I mean, these are some major brands. And what's fascinating is that the way that it's structured now and the pricing is that if you compare that to some of the NFTs over on the Ethereum network, it's actually significantly less. So as this thing becomes more and more broad-based and more people come into the space, the prices are naturally just going to raise higher and higher. Now, again, this is just my opinion. This is not financial advice, but I believe that any money that's put in now into the VIVE app is going to have some significant returns. And I'll show you a little bit what I mean by that in a second. But in order to participate, you first have to buy what's called gems. So the nice thing with Vivi is you don't have to figure out what the underlying cryptocurrency is. For them, they use an underlying layer called OMI, and that's their token. Recently, they shifted off of what's called the Go chain, and it's moved over to Ethereum. That's also bullish. I'm not going to get into that today, but you should know that they've made it really easy to basically buy these digital collectibles. And the way that they do that is that, again, you buy these gems. So basically, one gem is equal to $1. So if you go to the app, you can purchase gems, and you can say, okay, I want, let's say 200 gems. It's going to basically cost you $200, and it'll charge your credit card. And if you're using travel rewards, then even better, right? Then you get some points from that. But it'll charge your credit card, and it's as simple as that. You'll see the gems appear into your wallet on the app, and then you can go out and you can start buying either on the secondary market, or you can wait for what's called the drop. Now, a drop is just when the collection comes out for the first time ever. And with Vivi, they're constantly having new collections drop every single week. And it could be a digital comic, or it could be a digital collectible. Now, what happens is they usually drop these things like on a Tuesday and a Thursday and a Saturday, and sometimes every single day of the week. But what happens is there's so many people trying to buy these that it's very difficult to actually get in on a drop. But nonetheless, you should try it anyways, because even if you get it 1 out of 10 times, that 10th time when you actually get it, it could cost you maybe 50 gems, but all of a sudden you can go into the marketplace later that day and sell it off for, let's just say, 500 gems. So that's a 10x return on your money, which is incredible. And this is happening every single day in this app. Now, that's just one way you could potentially make money. The second way is to actually go onto the secondary market and start looking at the existing collections that are out there and start figuring out, okay, which ones are undervalued, which ones can I afford, and which ones should I potentially start collecting, holding, and then when they go up, maybe I sell off some of them and buy something else, or maybe I hold on to them and I add in more money. It's totally up to you, right? This is up to you, and you want to make sure that you're using discretionary income, like I said before, because this money is going to be locked up a little bit for a while, but eventually you're going to be able to cash this out for OMI tokens or Ethereum, and then be able to translate that back into US dollars. Right now, it's a little bit locked up, so do keep that in mind. But I will tell you, this is exploding right now. Right now, there's about 1.7 million users on the app that have already downloaded this app. And so, think about it. When they drop a new collection and it's 30,000, and there's just say 1 million people that are actively trying to get it, right? Your chances of getting it are pretty slim, but it's possible. And I've gotten people in my group to capture some really great drops. A lot of us went in and we got the first Disney drops, and those were incredible. They had these Disney moments. So we paid 60 gems, and then, all of a sudden the next day it was up like 5 or 10x. And if we look at the prices now it's like 30 or 40x. So it's incredible. People that weren't able to get on the drop initially actually bought some on the secondary market. I did as well. I missed the R2D2. And so I went in and I bought the R2D2 for $600 essentially. And, that was a lot at that time, because prior to then I was just kind of playing with profits that I already had. But I was like, you know what? I kind of see where this is going. This is the first Star Wars NFT ever. So I'm, you know what? I'm going to put my money in and pay the $600. And so I bought it. And today I think the floor price is about $6,500. So you can see that there's a significant jump. That's a 10x, right, of my money, even paying at expensive prices at the time that I thought it was expensive. And it just keeps going up. So again, there's many opportunities here. And this is the easiest app, I think, to really kind of take you into the NFT space. Once you start getting comfortable with this, you can start to then, I think, increase your knowledge about NFTs overall. Yes, there's a whole nother, world of NFT trading that goes on OpenSea and getting a MetaMask and all that. And I think you should explore that as well. But for today, you can literally start buying your first NFT today. So if I were starting all over again, here's what I would do. I would take $200 to $300 and I would put it into gems, into the Vivi app. From there, I would start actually looking at all the different drops that are upcoming and figuring out if I want to target some of those, or if I want to start getting things on the secondary market. So as of now, I'll show you one of the tools that I use is called Vivicom. And what it does is you can actually sort the different digital collectibles that are already pre-existing on the market. And so let's just say I don't want to spend, that much. I want to spend $50 or less. I can actually search for all the different ones that are $50 or less. And so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to, search. And what's catching my eye right here is this Mighty Marvels, right? This is a Marvel NFT. There was 18,000 of them that were created. And this is the first appearance of Kingo. So that's interesting because that's the first appearance. There's never, ever going to be a first appearance again as an NFT for this character. And as we come back down, we can also see same thing for Icarus. This is also the first appearance of Icarus, and he's one of the Eternals. And so if you see, it's $48, and you can also see that from the point that it dropped, it was originally just $13 in gems, but it's now gone up to $48. So there's definitely been an increase in price. However, I think it has a long way to go, and people aren't really paying attention to these at the moment. So you know what? I would go in and I would snap up, maybe one of these, maybe even two, so that you could hold one and then potentially sell one off if it actually goes up in price. So that's one strategy, is to actually hold two. And then I would actually reserve another 100 or 150 or so for future drops. One of the drops that are coming out this Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time is another Disney drop. It's going to be in a blind box format, which essentially means that there's 5 different types of NFTs that you could potentially get, but you won't know what you get until you essentially buy it. So what they're doing is they're releasing, let's see, roughly 14,000 of these Mickey Mouse, another 14,000 of Minnie Mouse. Donald, there's going to be 10,000. Daisy is going to be 8,000. Pluto is going to be about 7,000 or so. And here we go, the Goofy, 4,444. And so this is, considered the secret rare category. The other ones above are considered ultra rare, rare, uncommon, and then the top 2 are considered common. So, it's usually based off of how many editions there are that are actually out there. And so what's going to be interesting is we know that Mickey Mouse has actually made its debut already. They actually have already had 2 different NFTs that have come out with Mickey Mouse. So this is not going to be his first appearance. But what's very interesting is that Minnie Mouse, this will be her first appearance. This will be Donald's first appearance, Daisy's first appearance, Pluto's first appearance, as well as Goofy's first appearance. So this is really interesting because what's going to happen is this is, again, going to be the first appearance. And even if I miss the drop, I'm going to consider buying this on the secondary market. So again, let's just say I had $300 in gems and maybe I only bought, a couple of those smaller NFTs. I still have $200 left. So we'll see what happens. I mean, at 40 gems, right after the drop happens, once the marketplace opens, you can actually go in, and if you didn't get the drop, then you can go in and you can actually buy on the secondary market. So you would actually go into the app itself. On the bottom right hand, there's a little market icon. You click on that and you'll be able to see everyone's listings. And so if there's something going for $200, I might very well purchase one of the first appearances of, Minnie or Daisy or Goofy, whoever it is, right? And likely the Goofy, because it's secret rare, it's going to be significantly higher. So, even though it was 40 gems, I'm guessing this thing's going to probably be like 3,000 gems or something. So you're already going to see initial, I think, fast appreciation of price. But bear in mind that, again, these are the first Disney NFTs ever for certain characters. And if you keep that in mind, it might actually make sense to actually pay for that. So again, depending on how much money you want to put in, that's a consideration. But if you do get the drop, that's the best and most ideal way. That's pretty much guaranteed profit in my mind. And so let's just say that you're priced out of the secondary market for the Disney NFTs, right? And that could be a very realistic case scenario, right? So if that happens, then I would come back and I would take my 200 gems and I would start looking at some of these other NFTs that are sub $50. And I would say, okay, maybe I want to pick up, some of these other first appearances. And there's a lot. And I think the funny thing is that people don't even realize that these at some point are going to probably be up 10, 15x, maybe even higher. Who knows how high these will go. And so if you buy one or two or multiple of something, I think you stand a very good chance of, making a profit here. So again, that's what I got for you. This is the easiest way to get into the NFT space. It's something that's very clear and understandable, something that, you can get into the app and it makes sense. I think that's the best thing about Vivi. It's very approachable for most people and they can understand it. So start there. And then when you're ready, come back, watch some more of my videos, and we'll talk about, the more complex stuff with the ETH and the MetaMasks and being able to, kind of do all these, so-called fancy things. And what you'll find out is that, as you keep going down the rabbit hole, you see so many different opportunities. So again, this is why I created the channel. I wanted to just share this information with you and let you know that it's possible. I mean, there's just so many opportunities that are evolving. And when I started in this space, I thought I was late, but I was actually early. And you watching this right now, I got to tell you, you're early as well. We're going to be seeing this NFT space evolve into the next decades. So there's still time and there's still going to be opportunities. So you do have to think ahead though. You have to think ahead. You don't want to follow the masses, because if you follow the masses, you're going to get the general result. I like to think 2 to 3 years out and then position myself for that. So we'll talk about some of the strategies in future videos. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you found any value in this video or any entertainment, go ahead and please like the video and subscribe. It really helps me out and I'd appreciate it a lot. Until then, have a fantastic day and we'll see you in the next video. Stay blessed.